Thank you. I call the member for Glass. Ask for your question, please.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And my question without notice is to the Premier. Premier, rail advocate Robert Dow said last night, the state government's position is that all other rail projects are on hold until Cross River Rail, its #1 priority, is funded by the federal government. Tonight, we call on the state government to abandon this position as it is not correct or logical. And he called on the government to immediately implement the European Train Control System 2 or better. Can the Premier guarantee to the House that the European Train Control System 2 will be delivered on time and on budget, given Labor's history of rail fails?
I call the Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. My understanding is that the European Train Control System is on track, Mr Speaker, that it is currently meeting the timeframes that it needs to meet. But you also raised a number of issues, and you raised Cross River Rail again, Mr Speaker, and let me make it very clear that Cross River Rail is not just Queensland's #1 infrastructure project, it is Australia's #1 infrastructure project. In fact, Infrastructure Australia released the Australian Infrastructure Plan and the updated infrastructure priority list on 17th of February 2016. The Cross River Rail project was listed as a high priority initiative, Mr Speaker. So there you have, the facts are clearly there. Our #1, Infrastructure Australia's #1, Mr Speaker. And Mr Speaker, whilst I'm on my feet too, we've heard those opposite, talk about Gene Tunny. Well, Gene Tunny also had something to say about the Bat Tunnel, Mr Speaker. Remember that Bat Tunnel by those opposite? What do they have to say? What do they have to say? Because I think the member for Indooroopilly might be interested in this, Mr Speaker. It was said that the environmental impact statement for the Bat Tunnel from Dutton Park to Spring Hill is out for comment, and I'm rather unimpressed by the benefit of the cost ratio estimated by Deloitte at 1:16. That is, benefits are estimated to be only 16% higher than costs over the life of the project. That's pretty concerning for a $5 billion project that is likely to be subject to the same risks of cost blowouts and demand shortfalls as other mega projects, Mr Speaker, and no business case, Mr Speaker, no business case. So what did she say? What did they say? Very unimpressed, Mr Speaker, very unimpressed. 1 William Street. We all know who thought of that one, don't we? And I take the Deputy Premier's interjection. It was the Leader of the Opposition who had the grand plan to sell off government buildings in the CBD, sell them off, secret plan, fire sale, lost us money, hundreds of millions of dollars out of taxpayers' money, they forgot about that, and built their 1 William Street, Mr Speaker. Was there a business case? No business case.
Thank you, members. I think the Premier has answered the question. I think you've answered.
I just wanted to take the Deputy Premier's interjection, Mr Speaker.
All right, last one.
And then, of course, we had the NGR contract, of course. And then how's that going, Mr Speaker? How's that going? Signed off by those, like I said. Signed off.
Thank you, members. No.
Thank you, Member for Indooroopilly.